So now I want to be able to arrange my ear behind my head. In order to see what I'm doing, I'm going to fill in the colors of my body, head, and ear. So first I'm going to start with the body and select it. And I find that if you go to the properties tab on the right hand side, I find changing the fill is the easiest there. You can click on the fill and select one of these pre-made options, and I'll select that one. Then I can click on the head. I also wanted to make the stroke transparent. I'm going to click on that and hit the one with the red line going through it. Next, I'm going to select the head and do the same thing, change the fill. For the fill, I'm going to do the same color, but I think I'm going to make the head a little bit lighter. In order to do that, there's a couple different ways to do it, but what I like to do is double click on the fill, go here, and I'm going to change it to down. I'm going to lower the cyan by 10 to 70 and lower the magenta to 0 by 10 from 10 and lower the yellow also by the same amount, and it should appear lighter. So next I'm going to start with my ear, and I want the same color as my body. In order to seal that color, I need to go over here to the eyedropper tool, or the shortcut is by hitting the letter I on your keyboard, and you can steal this color, and now that shape turns the same color. I'm going to go back to my selection tool, hit the inner oval, and again, I want there to be, for the fill, I want it to be white, and for the stroke, I'm going to make no stroke. The same thing with the head, I forgot to change that to no stroke. And now that I have filled it in, I can see that I need to change a few of my shapes so that it fits a little bit better. Okay. Now I want my ear behind the head. So how I do that is I select the inner oval, hold down the shift key in order to select the outer oval at the same time. And I can even group them by right clicking in grouping. If I do that, it's anything I do to the one shape, it'll happen to both shapes. And then I'm going to right click and go to arrange and send to back. And now when I click out, the ear is sitting behind the mouse. Okay, I am going to zoom out a little bit, and there is my zoom tool. If you hold down the Alt key while clicking the zoom, it will zoom out. And now I can see what I'm doing. If you click on this handy hand tool over here, it kind of works as a hand that moves around your artboard. A shortcut for that is just holding down the space button. So I'm going to go ahead and make my pillow. I'm going to choose the rectangle tool, make my rectangle. I'm going to go back to my black cursor and rotate it, and then move it so it's right. Change it so it fits. It does not have to be perfect. And your colors don't have to be exactly like mine. Okay. Again, I'm going to right click to arrange to send to back. And then I'm going to change the color. Your color doesn't have to be exactly like mine. I am going to try now the color mixer and pick a color here. And I'm going to go a little bit lighter. There we go. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to click out. And now I need to work on the stars. I'm going to zoom out still a little bit. So I'm going to click the zoom out key, hold down Alt, and there we go. I'm going to go back to my rectangle tool, hold it down, and there is a star tool to make the stars. Again, your stars don't have to be perfect. I'm just going to make my stars roughly, and I'm going to change the color. I choose white. I'm actually going to go to the palette to get that perfect white and change the size, and then go ahead and make the rest of your star shapes. Mine are not perfect. I'm just varying the size so it looks interesting. And rotating. Okay, it's not exact as you can see, and it does not need to be. I'm going to do the tail now. Click the rectangle tool, which just now looks like a star. Go to the rounded rectangle, and I'm just going to make a skinny tail. I'm going to arrange it so it's behind, send to back, change the color, and I'm going to steal color for this so that my artwork looks unified. I'm repeating colors. I'm going to take the eyedropper, steal that color. Oop. Take the eyedropper, steal that color, and now that my tail has changed color. I kind of want to lighten a little bit, so I'm going to lower some of these numbers. I'm just hitting the arrow key down about 4 or 5 for each one. Okay, and there we go. Oops, Control Z, and there we go. I can go back to my layers panel so that I can, over here, toggle the visibility. You see a little eye icon there. If you click on that, the eye disappears, and now that layer, which was the template, disappears, and you can see what you have so far. My stars disappeared because the background is white. So I'm going to go in and make a ground and make the background. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go back to my rectangle tool, hold down, click the rectangle. I'm going to make a rectangle that fits the ground and send it to the back. Arrange, send to back. And then I'm going to go back to my properties to change the fill. For this, since it's 9, I'm going to make it a lighter gray color. I think I like this one. And then I am going to do the same for the sky. Make sure my rectangle tool is selected and make the sky. For the sky, I might do a dark purple. I'm just going to select that. I like this. Right click, arrange, send to back. Your colors do not have to be exactly the same as mine. It is up to you. You can have more stars. You can add more details. Make it yours. This is just a starting point so that you know the different tools and the different options, and you can play around with that in Illustrator. If I go back to my layers panel and I turn my template back on, and if I click and drag that template above so I can see it, I can see that I actually had wanted grass to give my animal a sense of place in the picture. So I am going to go back, move the template back down, and turn off that eye, and I'm going to go ahead and make the grass. So I am going to go back to the rectangle tool, select the polygon tool, click once, and then I can double check my sides. It is 3. I do want to make a triangle. So I'm going to roughly make a triangle. I'm going to click my cursor so that I get a skinnier, I'm going to make my triangle again so it's a little bit easier to move it, I guess, manipulate it. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to make my triangle. If you rotate it so that the circle is going vertical and going through the middle, it makes it easier to scale it. And I'm going to make it skinny like a blade of grass, make this one tall. I'm going to change the color. I like to change it here, properties, change it to a green, dark green. And then I'm going to make sure my black cursor tool is selected, move it down, Control copy, Control V, Control C is a shortcut for copy, Control V is a shortcut for paste. And then I am going to rotate it. Sometimes it's hard to rotate when it's too small, so I make it a little bigger, rotate it, and then scale it back down. You can also always zoom in so you can see what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to go back to my black cursor, Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and same thing. Rotate it, move it, and now I have my grass. If I hold down the Shift key, I can click all three shapes at once. So I can right click, group them so they become one piece, and then Control C for copy, Control V for paste. And now I have two. And this one I can scale down a little bit to vary the size. If the shortcuts are hard for you, another way to copy and paste is by going to Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste. And the shortcuts are also listed here if you need to reference them. If I paste it, it's there, but I only want two. So I'm going to delete that. And now I can zoom out by holding my Alt, and you can see that little minus show up. So I can zoom out, select my hand tool to move it. And now I can see my finished sleeping mouse picture. So when you're done on making it yours, I want you to, you can just copy mine and make it exactly the same if you want. I want you to File, Export, Export As. Find where you want to export it. I suggest either your desktop or your Google Drive. I always share it in my Google Drive so I don't lose my work in case something happens to my computer. I'm going to go to my Dad1 folder. I made another Dad1 folder. And in here, I'm just going to title it something so that's easy to recognize. Sleepy Mouse. And then I'm going to make sure PNG is selected. It's already selected. And export. I already had one labeled Sleepy Mouse. I'm just going to say yes because I practiced this before making this video. Hit OK. And it should be there. And I'm going to go and put it in my digital portfolio. I'm going to go, I have my digital portfolio already open and I had already practiced it. So I have titled it Sleepy Mouse Exercise. I'm going to insert image from the drive, and it should automatically be the first one at the top because I just worked on it. It was a recent thing. I'm going to click that and put it in. Okay. Don't forget, very important, make sure you also save as an .ai file so that if you need to, you can go back and edit it after I give you feedback. So I'm going to save on my computer. My dad folder in my Google Drive is already selected, and I'm going to type Sleeping Mouse, which I already have done this because, again, I practiced this exercise. This one I'll label 2. Make sure Adobe Illustrator, a .ai file is selected, and hit save. So now I'm going to give you your challenge. Your challenge is on a piece of paper, or if you have a sketchbook, sketch out a simple sleeping animal using simple shapes. Round some corners, vary the shapes, make it interesting, and make your own animal. It can be as complicated or as simple as you would like. I recommend that if your skills are more advanced, to add more details, highlights, and shadows. Happy creating. Oh, and upload your sketch to, of course, your Google Slides. Just place it right there. Once I do my sketch, I will place it right here so that I can submit that for grading. Bye.